You are the first. Welcome. How you feeling? Feel free to drop in the chat. How you feeling today? I'm feeling great. Love to hear from you guys. So yes, as we wait for more people to trickle in, but feel free to raise your hand if you want to go ahead and be first in line to ask your question to get some free coaching from Ray. But yeah, we are gonna have more people join in. So it is a first come, first serve. You have the advantage there since you are first comers. That's awesome. Way to be on it, right? And we welcome you. We're very excited for today. So we can go ahead and get started. So if you'd like to go ahead and raise your hand, we can. But I want to introduce our trainer today, Mr. Ray Higdon.
Hey, what's happening? What's up? So yeah, I don't think we actually marketed it this week. And so, might be an intimate crowd, but I've learned it's always the perfect crowd. And so if you have a question on here, raise your hand and happy to see if I can help you. And then those of you that are coming on live stream, if you go to higdongroup.com/free coaching, you can jump on Zoom with us and ask your question. I'd be happy to help you. All right. I was actually planning on going a little longer than normal, but it's going to depend on the questions. If there's no questions, it'll be the shortest one ever. I know my team is really preparing for tomorrow, the Sales Leadership Secrets event, and so that's been taking our precedence, and so I don't think we marketed Free Coaching Friday at all. And so intimate group. So what's up? Got any questions? Samantha, what's up? Sure.
Not really a question. I just wanted to say thank you for this morning.
A kick in the pants.
I really needed to hear.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Because I just feel last year I just could not get out of my own way. So this year I'm trying to be more focused and more. Whatever.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm realizing that God will give us wisdom to share with others, and he hopes that we hear it too. And so there's a series on Amazon called House of David, and I'm in love with it. I think it's awesome. And I know this is scary to say, but I actually very much prefer it over The Chosen, which I like The Chosen. It's good, right? Cool. They do a great job. Man, there's just something with, House of David. I just thought it was just amazing.
What platform did you say it was on?
Amazon. And I know they're coming out with a season 2, but there's a scene, okay? And it really, it's just so powerful. And it so stood out to me. I mean, I think I cried when I saw this scene. But I didn't absorb the lesson. I started teaching the lesson, but I didn't absorb the lesson. And so the scene is David is down by the whatever creek or whatever. And so he's down by the creek and he's talking to Jonathan, who is Saul's son. And he's about to fight Goliath, right? And so Jonathan says to him, he goes, dude, he's a giant. You're going to lose. What are you doing? You're crazy. And David says, am I the only one that remembers the God of power and that he shows up and everything? And Jonathan says, well, I just don't know that God's with us. And David says, he's not with us while we're here cowering. He's with us when we move forward. And I just thought that was such a powerful scene. And yet there's absolutely been areas of my life that I wouldn't say cowering, but waiting. I've been, just all right, God, whenever you want to turn it around. And he went, go walk in that direction. And that is, when you pray as if you've already received, go walk, right? It's not wait and notice what hasn't happened. Go walk. Go be that person as if it's already happened. And so just, between that and the Napoleon Hill video, I'm like, okay, all right, I got it. So,
Yeah,
well, thanks for,
it was probably the, like when a devotional hits you and all of a sudden you're like, you read your devotional, you go to church, it's the same message. You're like, okay, you're trying to tell me something.
yeah.
It's like the third time I've heard it this week.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
move.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think my other observation is that if there's any area in our life that we're just not creating results in, we're not seeing fruit, we're not seeing growth, he's trying to tell us something. He's trying to make us have a new realization. He's trying to help us with a breakthrough. And so, because the truth is, when we get a result, we stop looking. Right. So, got the result, yes, thank you, Lord. Right. We stop looking. Right. We're like, okay, we're good to go there. What's next? And he just wants to perfect us. He wants us to, just really be prepared and ready for where he's calling us to go. That's what I get. But thanks for sharing that. Appreciate it. All right. Okay. More questions. And again, if you're on streaming, I know some of you are just hopping on. Go to Higdon if you want to be on the Zoom and ask me questions. I had planned on going a little extended. And so I normally just go like an hour and get out of here. But, I just kind of realized, like, I love this stuff. Like, I love coaching you guys. So, like, I'm okay going a little bit over if there's questions. If there's not, then, what's the point? Okay. All right. We got. So if you're on Zoom, there we go. Constantine, what's happening? So I can't highlight you if you're not on video. Okay, there you go. There we go.
Good morning, Ray. How are you?
Hey, what's happening? What's up, buddy?
It's great. Thank you for having me here. Quick question. If you get a big leader join your team and he's much bigger than you are, how would you handle the conversations? You don't want to be annoying, following up with him, asking him how he's doing and things like that. How would you behave when you have a leader much bigger than you are on your team?
Yeah. So, yeah. So, first of all, congrats, right? So congrats if you got, I'm assuming, this is your question. And so, congrats for getting someone big, right? That's awesome. So I'm going to give you a few things here. Okay. I brought in a lot of people that were bigger than me, a lot of people that, let's just say, had more success in the industry than me. So I probably brought in, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 people who had made over $1 million in the industry prior to me having made $1 million in the industry. And then, obviously, eventually I went on to make, millions, but, and so there's a few things. Number one, you have no idea if they're going to produce. So be very careful of your expectations. I was duped many times. I would bring someone in, they would promise the world. They would ask me things like, how fast do you get to your position? And I'd say, 7 months. And they're like, I'm going to get there in 4. And I'm like, okay, all right. Ooh. And I'd get all excited and I'd call the owners. I'm like, I got a hot one, man. This guy's going to. What I learned, unfortunately, 100% of the time, not 99, 100% of the time, if they talked big, they never did anything. Now, that doesn't mean all the big people I brought in talked big. They didn't. I remember my 4th month in, I had no duplication. I mean, I was was selling like crazy. I was recruiting like crazy. I was making it rain, but I had no duplication. No one was doing anything. And this guy sees one of my YouTube videos. He reaches out to me, and I could tell like this guy's a player. And he didn't tell me, but he had made millions of dollars in the industry. And I remember when I talked to him, he goes, okay, all right, I'm going to get in. And he didn't say anything. He didn't say, I'm going to rock and roll. I'm going to blow your mind. I'm going to crush it. I'm going to break record. He didn't say any of that stuff. But in the next 90 days, he brought in 290 people personally and became my number one guy. And that was a gentleman named Cedric Harris. And just an amazing recruiter, amazing closer. I had many closers in my team. He was the best at closing leaders. Very, very good at that. And so he exploded, but he didn't talk big. He didn't come in and say, I'm going to crush it. He never said any of that. And so, lesson number one, if they talk big, unlikely they're going to do the work. Okay. Number one. Number two is the best thing that you can do for this person that's bigger than you is attempt to outrun them, not motivate them, outrun them. And so there were people certainly that beat me in recruiting, but they had to show up. I was consistently bringing in 25 to 30 new people a month, and that's at a buy-in of $500 to $1,000. And so I ran hard consistently. I did not ever bring someone in and say, okay, what you gonna do? Right, let me know. I'm here for you. I'm like, okay, hey, welcome in, welcome to the crew. Let me know how I can help you. I'm off to bring in new blood. And so I was just so focused on bringing new blood into the organization, Now, if they needed me, I hop right over there, no problem. But I never waited for them to do a damn thing. And I would highly suggest you adopt that behavior. You can't. There's a rule I have, whether they're a big leader or not. You don't want to check in with them. It's not good. It's not, hey, just checking in on you, right? So how that's translated is, when you're going to do something, waiting for you to make daddy some money, right? Don't do that. But I wouldn't do that with anyone, let alone a big rep. And so now what can you do? Well, whether they're big rep or not, you can call them with updates. You can say, hey, just so you know, we just launched blueberry lemon. We got a new flavor. If you're, just making sure or we're starting a new contest, or we got an event coming up. Want to make sure you know about it, whether you want to come or not. I don't know if you can make it, right? So you can call your team with updates, but you don't want to call them with, hey, how you doing? Let me check in. Is there anything I can do for you? Because all it comes across as is disappointment, and when are you going to do something, kind of poking them with a stick. And so if they start producing, okay, what I would not do, I would not give any limelight to them until they produce. Now that goes against our nature, right? So we want to say, holy crap, I just got this big leader. We want to post it on Facebook. We want to, run a billboard, right? We want to run ads and see, look who we got, right? I wouldn't do it because a lot of times when we shine that limelight on them, they get a sort of payoff, and it diminishes them doing the work. So I wouldn't do it. So I wouldn't shine any limelight on them. If they do the work, okay, great, right? They earn some attaboys. I wouldn't introduce, and I made all of these mistakes, by the way. That's why I know. And so I wouldn't introduce them to the company owners. I wouldn't introduce them to other leaders. I wouldn't do that unless they produce. If they produce, okay, let me introduce you to this person. Let me introduce you to the company owner. And so, yeah, those are probably my best tips for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
One more question.
Sure.
Can I? So I do the prospecting on social media like you teach. I send them a first message. They respond to me. Then I record a voice message to them. And And in the voice message, I tell them, would you be open to taking a look at what I do? Would you open, if you are, I'll send you the video. And a lot of times they say, yes, I would love to take a look at your video. And when I send the video, sometimes there is nothing, crickets. Maybe the video is not doing the job. Maybe I can tell the video is not very powerful. You know, it's not a recruiting video. It's maybe just a generic video about the company, what we're about to do in the US market and things like that. But it's not a strong recruiting video. Would you recommend create a video myself? More kind of like with more energy, or
the video most likely isn't the problem if they're not responding after the video, because that's what you're saying, right? You send the video, they don't respond.
They do respond,
Oh.
and sometimes they say, "Oh, it's not for me." And I ask your question, "What were you hoping to see at that point?" And
what do they say?
Sometimes they say, "Oh, I just wanted to see. I was just curious about the product, or I was just curious about the company." And from that point, and sometimes they say, "Yes."
So,
okay.
So I suspect I would really need to see your conversations. I'm probably missing something here. You know, no one just watches the video because they're just curious to see what it is. They're looking for something. And so there's something in what you're saying that is lower posture than it should be. And so I don't, you won't even know, but I would know if I saw your conversations. And so a lot of times I get hired by companies to look, or leaders to look at their sales team's conversations. And I'm like, okay, don't say that, you know, change that, you know? And so I don't know if you can pull any up. I don't see any other questions. So I'm, you know, I don't know if you can pull any up, and I can take a look at some, you know, if you want. Or pick maybe one, like maybe pick one, if you can show it on your screen.
Let me see if I can pull this one up.
Because I'm like, you know, a forensic scientist. I look at every single word that you're sending to the prospect and try to make it high performing, which is usually making the message simpler, clearer, and more postured. That's usually the deal. And by the way, if you're on the Zoom and you got a question, raise your hand. Hit your digital hand if you can. And if you're watching on live, you can go to higdongroup.com/free coaching and jump on Zoom with us.
And I'm not sure, probably shouldn't do that.
What's that?
It has my company's information in the conversation.
It's okay.
I'm not sure if I should.
We're adults here. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. Share my screen.
Do you see the share button? Are you able to?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Do you see my screen?
Not yet.
Yes. For some reason, it's not working from my phone. Right.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine.
Let's see. Maybe you can take a screenshot and upload it in the chat. I don't know if that's even possible, but try it. But we're going to go to Brent. Brent's got a question. Cool.
Yeah, like I said, I did the chat there. Just started out new, haven't had any sales. I've confronted any people, talked about, okay, what, you know, look at this, that, well, it's too expensive. I can't afford it. I don't have, you know, you got all these excuses, and I'm like, well, my response to that a few times was, you'll go buy a car, a boat, a camper, and make a payment on that right away. What's the problem with doing something for your health? And maybe I'm just going around it wrong. Just insight on just kind of, I guess, kind of start up, or how to, I guess, attract people to, or I want to do it. I want to do it. It's been 6 months, and then you ask them, and they just keep pushing you off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I always think there's probably 20 to 30% of all sales that would happen if we carried more posture that's appropriate to the conversation, right? And so when it comes to sales, right? There's pipeline. Okay. So how many people am I talking to, following up with, et cetera? If we don't have that, we can't make sales. There's posture, which is the management of the energy of the conversation. And then there's position, what is the position? So when people ask me, how would you answer this? Well, it depends on their position. Where are they in the sales cycle? So if I don't know anything about a person, whether they're warm market or cold market, I have to see if they're open to learning more. They're at position 0. So if I go to someone and say, hey, would you be open to taking a look at what it is that I'm doing to make extra money, or whatever your favorite product or service pitch is, right? Would you be open to take a look at how I'm losing weight or gaining energy or feeling less pain or whatever that is? And if they say no, then they remain at position 0. And I say, cool, no problem. Do you know anyone that does want to blank, do whatever it is you pitch them? Okay. So if they say, yeah, I'm open to learning more. Okay. That's position 1. And so then I would say, well, I got a video that does a better job than I can do of explaining it. Would you be open to taking a look at it? Okay, sure. That doesn't move the position. Only if they watch the video does it move the position. So if they watch the video, then I follow up and I'm just like, hey, did you get a chance to watch the video? Yes. Okay, great. What'd you like best about it? And so based on there, it's going to be based on, and position. In the absence of progress, I fall back on position. This is why I recruited hundreds and hundreds of people that hated the video. I don't care if they like the video or not. I care that they watch it. That's important. Don't care if they like it. And because if they watch it, they are looking for something. They have a seed of desire. If they do not watch it, they probably don't have a seed of desire, and I'm just wasting my time. And I'll move on. And so if you have someone that delays, they say, man, I'd really like to do this. First, I'm going to anchor why. Okay, cool, great. I'm just curious why. Why do you want to do this? What's the big deal? I want to ask that question. I want to know. And whatever they answer, I'm going to say, okay, is that something that's optional, or is that something you really are serious about? Because what I'm doing is I'm positioning it stronger in their own mind. Okay, is that something you really want to do, or is that just kind of like, it'd be nice? Yeah, it'd be nice, right? And so if they say no, it's something I really want to do. Okay, got it. Well, here's the deal. If you know you want to do it, you should do it sooner than later. Now, if you're not sure, if you're just kind of kicking it around, kind of thinking about it, I'll drag my voice out. I'll make my voice weaker. I'll make it flimsy. I'll make it sound like kind of like gross. Like if you're not sure, if you're just kind of thinking about it, kind of kicking the tires, like, it'd be nice, but I'm not that serious, then hey, take your time. Take as long as you want, 6 months, 12 months. See, we invest a lot of time working with you. And so if you're just dipping your toe in the water and you're not sure, then, no need to rush in. But if this is something, and notice how crisp my voice gets when I say, but if this is something you want to do, you should do it sooner than later. And so a lot of times that will push people off the fence, just that little scenario right there. And so, but what doesn't work is us using external pressure to get them to move forward. Like when you said, hey, you'll buy a boat, you'll do this, you'll do that, you went out to barbecue, like you just bought a cell phone, right? That won't work, because that's you using external pressure we have to get internal pressure. We have to get internal position. And so now we may determine, if I say, hey, is this is really something you want to do? Or is it something you're serious about? Or is that something like, it'd be nice or whatever? And they say, it'd probably be nice. Okay, cool. All right. So not that serious. Got it. Do you know anyone that does want to feel better, more energy, make more money, etc.? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I guess, and then what would you say to the people that say they want to do it, but don't have the money?
So I would ask, so it's a sequence, right? It's just a sequence of questions. So question number one, okay, got it. So you're saying that you don't have the money available on a credit card or in a bank account. I want to confirm that. Now, see, you think that, well, yeah, that's what they're saying. I've asked people, okay, you're saying you don't have the money, it's not available on a credit card, and you don't have it in a bank account. And I've had people say, you can use a credit card? I'm like, yeah, like why wouldn't you be able to do that? But I'm going to verify that. I'm going to say, okay, cool. So you're saying you don't have it available on a credit card, you don't have it in the bank account. That's what you're saying. Yep, don't got it. Okay, got it. Now, here's the next question. This is just a sequence. Next question. If you had the money, would you move forward? Now, a lot of times that's where you'll bust them, because they're really just full of crap. And they don't actually want to move forward, but they think that you're not very good at overcoming objections, so they'll just throw it as a smokescreen. And so you say, okay, if you had the money, would you move forward? And some of them will say, nah, probably not. Okay, cool. No problem. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Cool. Do you know anyone that does want to lose weight, make money, get energy, save on travel, yada, yada, right? But let's say, just for the sake of the sequence, let's say that they said, yes, if I had the money, I would move forward. Got it. Okay, cool. All right. And so I guess the question is, how far off are we? So it's $299 to get started. You said you don't have it on a credit card or in the bank. You said you would move forward if you had the money. How far off are we? And I've had people say $40. I've had people say $50. See, if we're arguing for the full amount, that's a harder argument. And so, but if we're arguing for $30, $40, $50, then I say, okay, cool, got it. All right, we need $40. And if you had it, you would move forward. I guess the question is, where could we come up with that? And I've had people say, you know what, I've been meaning to do a yard sale. You know what, silver and gold are up. I could sell some jewelry. I've had people sell Xboxes, bicycles, DVD players. I've had people do yard sales. I've had people borrow. I've had people go to their uncle that owed them money, right? And they get started. And here's what's beautiful. They're some of my favorite people to bring on board, because they will never accept that excuse of not having the money. They'll never accept it because they overcame it. And I've done that. I mean, I haven't done it at every event I've spoken at, but I've probably asked this question at 50 events I've spoken at. How many of you didn't have the money to get started? And every single event, about 50% of the audience raised their hand. Yet here they were. They somehow got started. And so when someone says they don't have the money, that's the beginning of the sequence. That's not the, all right, okay, well, darn it, I keep getting broke people. No, we got to ask more questions. Now, it could be a smoke screen.
Some of it, I suppose.
Yeah, go ahead.
Some of it, I suppose, is that you got to have the desire. I mean, if
You
money was
do.
no object, can you say I'll do it if money was no object? Well, then what's holding you back?
I'm not a fan of asking what's holding you back, because then we spotlight what's holding them back. I would rather expand in their mind the reason they want it. So we can always choose to expand whatever thing we want, right? So here's another example that's kind of like that. Is I remember I followed up with this guy and I said, hey, did you get a chance to watch the video? And he said, I sure did. And I have some questions and I have some concerns. And I said, okay, got it. Well, what did you like best? And so he's like, well, I really like this and that. And that. Why was that important? Oh yeah, I like that too. Why did you like that? Well, how come that's important to you? Well, why did that stand out? Like I'm asking him all these questions and we get a few minutes in and I say, wow, well, I mean, based on what you said, it sounds to me like you're ready to join. He's like, yeah, let's do it. I never heard his questions or concerns. I don't need to hear them. Now, if he brought them back up, okay, fine, I'll address them. But I want to expand in their mind the reason why they want to move forward. I don't want to expand in their mind the reason they do not want to move forward. Does that make sense?
Sure.
And so you might, if you don't have it, you may want to consider we have a little script book. It's less than $20. It's got all kinds of this kind of stuff in there. How to overcome objections, how to follow up with posture, how to reach out, how to prospect. It's a little digital book and it's pretty jam-packed.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Cool, man. You got it. Be safe out there. All right. We got Bonnie in the house.
Hey, Ray.
Hey.
So I'm working on my Instagram and Facebook pages. Okay, so I feel like I'm being called more to do the healing side of it. So I started out with a personal Facebook page. Then I ended up doing a business Facebook page for my healing. So I connected the two. Then last year I started an Instagram page for my skincare, but that's linked to my personal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started an Instagram page for my healing that's linked to the healing page.
Sure.
But I'm not feeling called to do the skin. Like I think skincare is part of healing. So it's almost like I want to merge those people over to my Instagram healing page. I got more people on there than I do the skincare anyway. But I think skincare is still a very important part of healing. So it's almost like I feel like I need to merge some of that into there, but I'm not quite sure how I'm going to go about doing it. Because I've been ChatGPTing questions and all this kind of stuff, and they're going, don't abandon it, but just leave it sit.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
just like toying with trying to figure out how to sort all this out to make it a little bit easier for me, like calmer,
Mm-hmm.
just like free flowing, doing
Yeah.
that type of thing. But I just feel like I need to focus on the healing part of it because that's where I want it to grow.
How many followers are on the skincare?
Skincare 138 and the healing page I have 344, which is not a lot, but I want.
And you're wanting to more focus on healing, not skincare.
Correct.
Okay. So this would be a much trickier question if you had 30,000 on the skincare.
Right.
You got 130. And so it's just not a big deal.
Right.
Unless you're cranking out sales over there which would be impressive at 130. And so a lot of times, we try to get to second base by keeping one foot on first. And so just, and first of all, I just want to say, way to go, because you move forward in the marketplace and you tested a target market to realize, I don't think that's the one. So way to go, because some people, they spend years in their head of, is it skincare? Is it healing? Is it this? Is it that? And they never actually learn. So they never actually do anything. So the fact that you move forward is awesome. And, one of the proverbs is, in all labor, there's profit. And so it doesn't necessarily mean, profit, but it means growth. In all effort, I learn. And so I have learned 52 different taglines that I wasn't meant to do. But I move forward in those as if I'm like, this is my best guess right now. So my current, what I'm doing now, I know is, and could it change? Of course it could, but I feel very good every day creating content for what I'm doing right now. And that is, I help sales leaders create teams that perform without draining them. Love it. I can talk about it all day long. I could
Yeah, I can't wait to have a team to be able to do that.
well, step one of it's kind of like, you know, if someone says, I can't wait to have a wife so I can spoil her. Step one would be learn how to be a great husband.
Right.
Right. So if we can't wait to have a sales team, we have to first learn to be a great leader. That's what I'm actually covering tomorrow. So all day Saturday is my sales leadership secrets. That's going to set the foundation. There's going to be people, there's probably going to be 50% of the people in that event that do not have a team.
If I sign
But they will by 2026, I guarantee you.
if I sign up for that, though, is it recorded just because I wouldn't be able to watch it tomorrow?
Yeah. So there's two options, and you guys are twisting my arm because we're not actually announcing this on the sales page. So if someone buys just the general admission for $97, we're actually going to give you a couple days to watch it. If you want lifetime access, that's an additional $97. And so
I can watch it on Sunday. It's just Saturday
you can watch it on Sunday at the $97 investment. And that's for those that want to know, it's at higdongroup.com/sales. And so just, you know, what I've noticed and I've figured out is God gives us what we're ready for. So if I have tilled the ground and I have dug the ditches and I have laid the framework to be a great leader, I am going to build a team. If I am struggling with how to manage a team that I don't have, and I don't really know what I would even do with a team if I had one, probably not going to have a team. And so I think it's very wise to build the foundation, build the frameworks, understand systems, processes, culture, boundaries, so that you are primed to make that thing right.
Yeah. And that's kind of what my focus is right now.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm just trying to clean up my pages and get everything
Yeah.
set. That way, when I do start to develop that team, I'm like, I know where I'm going. I don't have to try and clean this up. And I'm trying to get everything organized so it's very systematic.
Yeah. And then two more things on your question. So one, I mean, I'm a content freak of nature. I mean, I post 10 reels a day to Instagram. I went 12 years of doing a video a day every day without missing a day. Like, I'm a content dude. And I have tried multiple times in my career to create content for more than one niche. Can't do it. My brain just does not work that way. I'm just like, I just couldn't do it. I know you're not trying to do that, but I'm just saying.
Well, I was for
like,
a while, and I was just like, I can't.
Yeah, it's too much. And so your better bet is go all in on your best guess right now, which sounds like is healing. And so I would go all in. How do I absolutely dominate that? How do I just be I love what's his name? Jason Fried, I think. He said, out teach your competition. I love that. Okay. Out teach your competition. Like, who else is talking about healing? How do I post more content that's more informative and more valuable than them? That's easy. So you will get the attention of the marketplace.
I am very consistent at doing one reel a day, and I do about 5 stories. Like, should I up that and then
Yes, because who looks at your, just so everyone knows, who looks at your stories? Your buds, your people that already like you, and that's great, right? But we're just not expanding. You do not expand through stories. You serve the people that love you already through stories, great, but you don't expand. We have to expand. So one of the features that I'm using on Instagram Reels right now is I post 6 trial reels a day. Now, trial reels, when you go to post a reel, I don't know if everyone has this setting, but I think most people do. And so when you go to post a reel, scroll down before you hit share and see, is there a little toggle that says trial reel? If there is, that is free money. It's free money, because trial reels go to 100% non-followers. I have a reel right now. Let me take a look at it.
I've been taking I've had so many people comment. I've been you have those little video clips of like kids and
Yeah.
different things and messages.
Yeah.
So I have tons of little videos of my grandkids and all
Sure.
that kind of stuff I've been taking. I had one, it was just a simple, I don't know, 15-second clip of the kids playing hockey outside on the ice. And I did it about life isn't the perfect aim or whatever. Life isn't always about perfect aim.
Right.
I had like 4,000 followers or like 4,000 views.
Perfect.
And I was like, I've never had that many views. So I was like, what? And it was very simple. So I've been doing that, but people are actually engaging and then commenting to me about it and tagging
Perfect.
other people, which is
Yeah.
fun.
And you want to, like, it's not just sharing the
Right.
kid video, it's having a message there. So I share all
And that's
kinds of
what I do.
my kids' baby videos and stuff like that, but I put a
Mhm.
message in there that's congruent with who I'm trying to
Right.
serve. So I have a trial reel right now, that goes to all non-followers that has 251,000 views.
Oh my God.
Trial
I
reel.
have to get there.
So that's just free money. That's just like,
Right.
that's what you would have to do to run an ad to go to non-followers, but they're letting you do it. So I'm doing 6 a day. And
So,
so
are you doing, are all your messages, do they all have like a call to action or a,
not well, so trial reels, like I just know, right? They're going to non-followers. So the call to action in most of my trial reels is follow me for more sales leadership advice. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to get them from non-follower to follower. And then once they're a follower, I have a little bit different call to action for those that are following me. And so I might have, DM me to see how I can help you and your team, or DM me, blah, 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 whatever.
Okay.
And so, but I used to, kind of mix up my videos, right? Now I would post a wedding video, and I'd post a business video. And I'm just like, you know what? It's just, how do I create the most value for who I'm called to serve right now? And that's my focus. And that's what I do.
cool.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Go get them, Tiger. Awesome. Okay. Let's go to my man, Henry, Mr. Consistent. He gets in a question every free coaching Friday. You got to come on camera, Henry, if you're still there. Okay, Henry, in 3, 2, 1. Oh, you just made it. I was about to move on. All right. What's going on?
Hey, good morning.
Hey.
I have a question, and it's kind of a little different, but still into my business. I was watching one of your videos, I think it was from a long time ago, and you were talking about, what you were giving tips on was on the internet and how you can, I think you said something about how a majority of people that see your presentation won't join, so you fall back and then you will send them to a page where even though they say no to your opportunity, when they fall back to your page, they have at least invest something purchasing your product that you have in, I don't know if you recall. So I was thinking doing the same thing, but like in an actual presentation and actual, like in real life thing. So my thing was, because I'm really want to go into like business owners and do the presentation. So my theory was do the presentation. And if I know that majority or a percentage will say no, fall back onto like a business. And I'm really like from a young age, I was really like a entrepreneur, like, getting jobs so then I can get people to work on it. So like a contractor, doing landscape and even flipping cars and just doing a lot of things to get like money on the side. So I had done car detailing. So like my thinking was, if I go to business owners and they say no to the opportunity, fall back to a service like I could provide, like a car detailing. So then I can fall back to that. What do you suggest?
Yeah, I mean, if I were you, I wouldn't go that route. I'm not saying not to have a side hustle or side job or whatever. I'm not saying to do that, but I would rather, if I'm leading with the opportunity, I would rather fall back to the product or service, right? So, lead with the opportunity, go to the product or service if they say no to that, or vice versa, product or service, and then go to the opportunity if they say no to that. I would rather see you do that. Mine just, there was a time where, I was the number one income earner of a direct sales company. I was generating over 3,000 leads a month without ads. And there were so many people coming to me that were already in a home business. And so I'm like, well, this is just stupid to me because they're coming to me. It would be stupid if I didn't have something to offer them. That's very different than if I was going to them. And so, and I also think, there's a lot of people that I prospected that said no at first, but eventually said yes. Well, if I go from this opportunity can make you money on the side, oh, you don't want it, let me detail your car, I think that greatly diminishes the chances they will ever move forward with that opportunity, whereas some of them might. Because I had people tell me no for a year before they joined. And so that's just kind of my take on that. But if you had people, so there's a lot, like if I had to do it over, I actually wouldn't have focused on network marketing content. I would have focused on probably sales, right? Just sales in general. But because I focused on network marketing content, guess who reached out to me? Network marketers. And a lot of times they were happy in their company. And if I'm a one-trick pony, then that doesn't really make sense. And so just kind of out of like, I started saying like, okay, what would they, if someone reaches out to me and I can't get them and I'm not going to try to get them to quit their company and join me, what would be beneficial to them? So I started asking that question and placing them, giving them options that would help them. I don't think it's the same scenario.
Okay, yeah, now I know, because I just saw it, and so I was just trying to have like my take, but I totally get it. That was just a thought that I just curious. I wanted to ask you. Okay.
Cool.
And so the video, I know you said one, but let me ask this one, then you can give me a quick answer.
Oh, you're always trying to get in a second one, man. Go on. Let me come back to you. Let me go to the people who've yet, we got Pat and Tommy up here. Let me go to them, and then if you're still around and we got time, then we'll do another one. All right.
Okay.
All right. Pat and Tommy. I think I'm saying that right. Or is it? Yeah, looks like Pat and Tommy to me.
Yeah, hang on a second, Ray.
All right.
Working on getting the video going here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start while I'm playing with this here. So I have a situation about 20 years ago. I came across a network marketing company. In fact, that's actually how I found you, is through this company. It's a nutritional supplement company. We got immediate belief in the product. We went in and immediately things started going well as far as product. We had 13 kids. And at that time, I guess when we did this, we were pregnant with number 13. And so money was not like super plentiful back in the day, but we were able to start this. I saw a number of people, and then life got crazy, and we just kind of, I kept on board and kept going to the meetings and stuff like that, but didn't really get, my upline would actually sign people up and put them under me to build legs and so forth. Fast forward a little bit, several years, and my wife was struggling with some IBS type symptoms, and we found a company that actually offered some supplements that addressed that. The deal is that company is very female dominant, if that makes sense. It's like if I were going to guess, it's probably like 95% of the people involved are women. It's a great company, and it made a huge difference in my wife's life. And actually, she's gotten to the fourth highest level in the company. But I've always struggled
She signed me up as her downline, and I've had moderate success, and I've probably done a lot of sabotage. But I'm really struggling. It's like I want to do this with her, and yet my belief is probably just as strong in the other company, which is actually a company that has both male and female, and you don't have this like it's all female. Like you're in a conversation and you're in a meeting, and they'll say, "Hey, you can just slip one of these, take it, and put it in your purse." I'm like, "Well, the guys I'm talking to don't have purses," and so I'm just kind of looking to say, I'm really struggling because my belief is more stronger in the first company I dealt with, but at the same time, I really want to do this with my wife. Do you have any advice for me as how I might determine? And I will say this too: the company my wife is with actually has a much better marketing program. They have constant incentives. They do a lot of things for their people. The other one, I look on their webpage and they still have stuff from November and December that's still on the webpage that hasn't gone off. And so it looks like there's not as much intention there. And and honestly, the people on the call last night that I was on, older people. And honestly, I'm 69, just turned 69, but I'm thinking my market is really younger people and not necessarily people in their 60s and 70s. So I'll shut up and listen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just, you just make a decision, it's, I mean, I have examples. One of the most amazing examples is Donna Johnson and Thomas Tidlin. Thomas is, I believe, the #1 income earner of his company. Donna is the #1 income earner of her company. They're two different companies, right? Now, I'm not saying that that's the path. I think that, deep down, you know what's the right path. So what if it's mainly women? What I've found is when I've done events or helped with groups or worked with groups, when it was 99% women and there was one rooster in the club, they loved the rooster. They thought the rooster was so much fun. They're like, "Yay, rooster!" And so like, my buddy Jason, him and his wife Brooke, they rocked a shampoo company for years, made millions of dollars, and he was hardly ever around another dude. It was all women, and he just embraced it, had fun with it, and just rocked it out. And so it's very safe for us to come up with reasons not to do either, because then we just don't move forward. But we're not designed for safety. We're designed for growth. And so some of the questions that would be powerful would be, what's going to grow me the most? What am I most excited about? And go after that with full vigor. Just go after it like a maniac. And in all labor there's profit. So you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn, oh, you know what? Maybe it is the other company. But you won't learn that in your head. You won't learn it by thinking about it. You'll learn in the streets. And so, it reminds me, Proverbs 26, it's actually in a couple of them, but it says, there's a lion in the street, there's a fierce lion in the road. And what that is, the person saying that isn't in the street. They're just coming up with an excuse of why they're not there, right? And so like, I don't want to go there because it's all women, or I don't want to go there because their marketing sucks, or whatever. I know you're not saying that, but I would say make a decision. Okay, for the next 90 days, I'm going to run like an absolute animal at this one. Flip a coin, pick. You probably know in your heart which one's the best one for you. And I would go after that thing. And if it's with her, great. If it's not with her, you're still going to feel a hell of a lot better than being in mental purgatory.
Very good advice.
Yeah.
We appreciate all that you do.
Yeah.
Man, I kind of want to do a book. My wife's team has struggled it was great selling nutritional supplements when everybody was getting money and COVID was going on. And then a lot of people have dropped off. So we're hoping to get in fact, I was listening to your network marketers leader guide, the one about now it's just totally slipping my mind. The one about leadership for network marketers. Listen to that. I think we'd like to do something because a lot of her people are struggling with how to get leads, and I'm kind of dead. I'm done with warm leads. Where do I go from here? So
Yeah,
it's a good book. So
yeah, appreciate it, man.
thanks a lot.
All right,
Thanks
you
a lot.
got it.
All right.
All right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go to my friend Laura because she's yet to ask a question. One of our Elite 8 rock stars. What's up, Laura?
Good morning.
Hey.
Hey, okay, so I have a question for you about how to roll over from presenting the opportunity to the product. So I've been doing a lot of reach outs. I'd say they're not cold calls, but they're people that I haven't really spoken with for years. So they don't feel very warm either. They're kind of lukewarm. So if they respond and they're not open to learning about the business opportunity, how can I then offer the product to them in a way that feels like it feels good and it feels like it has posture? So it's not just, can I sell you this? No, thanks. How about me selling you that? You know, I just want to be able to feel good about it. And I don't know if it's just something I need to get over because I know the product's incredible. It's not that I have doubts in what I'm offering. I just need to feel good about how I'm offering it.
Yeah. Just don't overthink it. You know, I would just say, you know, hey, you open and take a look at what it is that I'm doing to make extra money? No? Okay. Well, I didn't share with you what it is that I'm actually doing, but what I'm doing is this incredible skincare, and every single woman I have had try it absolutely loves it. Is that something you'd like to learn more about?
Okay, so yeah, you're kind of being a little bit mysterious with the business part, and then if they say no,
because remember, I don't like leading with product and opportunity at the same time. So I would not be going to someone and saying, hey, would you like to make money doing skincare? Because then I don't know what they're shooting down. Are they shooting down skincare? Or are they shooting down money? I don't know. And so I would lead with, you know, so like when I was really my first official company, it was a juice company. And I went to all my warm market and I said, hey, you know, I'm doing this thing to make extra money. You open and take a look at it. If you are, great. If not, no big deal. They'd say, yeah, man, you know, if you're doing it, like, I'd like to learn more. I'm like, okay, cool. All right. It's based around juice. And they're like, juice? I'm like, they're like, what do I do with juice? I'm like, you drink it and this thing's amazing. You're going to love it. You know? And so like, they did not know what it was when I asked them about the opportunity. And so a lot of times people sandwich product and opportunity in the same pitch, and you don't know what they're rejecting. And so when I don't do that, when I decouple that, then it's easy for me to go from opportunity to product or product to opportunity.
Totally. That makes so much sense.
Yeah. Were you including the fact that it was skincare?
With some of them, because we're Facebook friends and I know they've seen my posts, like they probably already know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some of them I didn't, but most of them I was. So yeah, making that intentional separation, I think will be helpful. It feels more natural that way.
Yeah. And then, and you know, and I think, I don't know if it was one of your people, it was one of the Elite 8 meetings where someone said, well, hey, you can try the product and then if you like it, then you could do the business. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I would, you know, go from opportunity, they shoot it down, go to product. And then once they're on the product, I would follow up with them and say, hey, how are you liking that? Hey, would you like to get it for free? And they're like, well, what do you mean? Well, if you tell a few people, you can actually get it for free. And so I'm gonna kind of, you know, ease them into the business through that kind of method.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. All right. Okay, now we're going back to my double dippers. We'll go to Brent.
All right. Just after the couple will go there. If you're doing any social media, would you keep it like a to be continued so they keep asking more, or do you put the whole like sales pitch in one video or in one reel?
Yeah. So
how do you go about doing that? Kind of,
yeah.
Do you like string them along, kind of like a to be continued, or do you put it all in one and then they look at it and they make up their mind, yes or no?
Yeah. So I always focused on leading with value. And value to me, a lot of people use that word, but value to me is, do they walk away with a gain whether they buy or not? So if I'm teasing what I'm doing, that would not, in my opinion, be considered value, right? That's a marketing thing, right? It's fine. Nothing, you can do it. But it's for that reason is why, at one point there were 1,300 people a month searching on Google, what MLM is Ray Higdon in? Because I didn't talk about the product. I didn't talk about the opportunity. I led with value. They knew. I would drop little clues, right? Hey, last night I was working with my team, and what team? What team are you talking about? And so I would drop clues that I had an opportunity, and I would prospect people. Or if someone reached out, and I would create all these different hooks. I would create all this different bait in the water to get people to reach out. For example, today on my 9 o'clock video, I said, hey, this week I watched 2 Napoleon Hill videos that blew my mind. If you want them, just shoot me a DM. And so I got 50 direct messages, and I said, here's the 2 Napoleon Hill videos. Is there anything I can help you with? I guarantee you there's going to be some of those people that say, hey, I'm actually looking at coaching, or what would be your best book, or do you have a course on this, or da. So it's, that little call to action, I connect with them, see what they need, and point them in the right direction. And so the exception is YouTube. So YouTube is a search engine. That's very different. And so social media, not a search engine. People are going there for, connection, value, that kind of thing. And so YouTube is a search engine. So most reps that have no idea how to market, they go to social media and they're like, my company's the greatest on the planet, and blah, blah, blah. And so people, they don't initiate with that rep. They go to Amazon, eBay, and Google. And so they look up, well, how much can I get it for on an eBay or Amazon? They'll go to ChatGPT, ask questions. They'll go to Google. And if they go to Google, they're going to run into YouTube because Google owns YouTube. And so that's why on YouTube, I would use the name of the company, use the name of the product. I had no problems with that because it's a search engine. And I would intercept traffic every single month and get sales. And so on social media, I focused on value and attraction marketing, helping people with whatever I could help them with. I did, things like this, Free Coaching Friday, talked about sales, marketing, closing, branding, all that kind of stuff. And then when they would connect with me, then I could point them to, hey, are you open? Take a look what it is I'm doing. So it's a little bit different, approach than that.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you need help with that, oh no, my wife moved my books. So this one, we updated this. This is the 2nd edition. We have a social media book on Amazon. It's 100 pages, very quick. But that would do a good job of helping with that.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
You got it. All right, let's go back to Henry. So if anyone's on here, you got a question, feel free to raise your hand. All right, question number 2, Henry, what do you got?
It's just a quick question I wanted to ask. When you were going hard at the beginning, when you were active in your network marketing, was your video a day? Did they stay, or did people know? Would you tell people you did network marketing?
Yeah. I didn't say the name of the company. I didn't say, here's my product. I said I would drop clues. I would say, hey, last night I was working with my team, or the other day I was doing a 3-way call for one of my reps. And so people would hear that and be like, oh, he's in a team. I wasn't like, hey, if you want, because a lot of people, they assume the position of the viewer, and I just don't typically do that. I don't assume that someone's just ready to join a team. I drop clues, I get ways for them to reach out to me, and then I connect with them. So my philosophy is generate a lead, connect with the lead, determine the need. So if they're in a company and they're happy, great. I don't want to try to break up their home. I'm not a home wrecker. But if they need help with social media, I might tell them about the social media book. And that's why, every quarter I get a, decent check from selling books. Because we sell a lot of books continuously. I write books that sell for years and years and years and years. And so does that make sense? So I didn't hide it. And that's why so many people were searching what actually is he in. I wanted to be the gatekeeper. I wanted them to have to come to me to find out what's the name of the company. Now that's marketing. In prospecting, that's different. In prospecting, eventually I got to get to the name of the company, but that's an individual conversation. That's not a mass marketing thing.
Okay, yeah, because I'm just posting a video of what I'm learning. Maybe I read a book, I educate them on the book, but not really, like you said.
You need a call to action. What's your call to action?
Depending, like after you told me that, okay, you should give the call to action of your PDF or your PDF of my 5 objections that I used to get, I would tell them, hey, I have a PDF that I give for free. That's the top 5 questions that they asked me. If you want it, you can go ahead and send me a message.
Okay, what's the PDF? Tell me again.
I listed the 5 top objections that I used to get, and I tell them why I have it or why they asked you, and then how to overcome it.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, so.
And who are you trying to attract?
Business owners.
Business owners. Like what? Like name? What kind? What kind of business owner?
It's construction, because I used to do a lot of construction work, so that's kind of what I already know, and I know what people tend to ask them and the objections that they get, that they don't have time, your price is too high. So
because the business owner, I mean, I guess in some companies they're doing the selling, but they probably have a sales person or a salesperson, right?
Well, a majority of the people that come to me because I'm giving the objection, I've noticed that they just started off with their company.
And they're a business owner.
Well, they're starting off with their own business. Sometimes they're still working. They do that on the side, or maybe they just started.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And construction.
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of targeting. I don't know.
Well, hey, if it's working, keep doing it for sure. But just make sure. There's been times where I've lost track of that. Make sure when you're posting, when you're doing like a live for certain, you want to have a call to action. Get people to reach out. And every day, whether it's in every reel, but every day you should be posting something to get people to reach out to you. And they're going to reach out to you when it sounds valuable and it sounds easy. So like, this morning when I said, hey, I got 2 Napoleon Hill videos, they blew my mind, they're amazing, reach out. That's a very easy ask. It's just, very innocent, very easy. Hey, send me the videos like that. That will get people to message me that would not message me if I said, hey, message me and I'll send you my 10 things or whatever. Like it just sounds like an easier ask. And all I'm actually looking for, I'm not going to gain anything if they watch the videos. It'll benefit them. But what I'm looking for is just conversation. How do I generate more conversations? How do I get more people asking me questions and I connect with them and see if I can help them?
Did you talk on a little bit more on that with your book that you just showed?
What's that?
Do you talk more in depth of that in your book?
Yeah, I teach the CTA delay. So you've heard of that? Have you heard of that?
Yeah, you told me about that one.
So the CTA delay is where you give a call to action. When they reach out to you, you're mixing in a question before you deliver that thing that they're asking for. And so, you're still giving them what you told them you would give them, but you're just asking a question.
Yes, you did tell me that
Cool.
this before, and that's what I've been doing now. So, but I'm get that book.
Yeah, rock it out, man.
Thank you.
Well, cool. Well, good job, Henry. Always showing up. Love it. All right, gang. Well, I am 2 things. Number 1, at 1 o'clock, here in 50 minutes. We have our Lifer once a month coaching. That is our intimate little monthly circle. And I'll be doing, questions for you guys. We do that once a month for our RankMaker Lifers. If you're not in that and you'd like to learn more, you can at higdongroup.com/lifer, higdongroup.com/lifer. You get all kinds of bonuses, all kinds of goodies. And you become part of RankMakers, which in less than 5 minutes a day, Monday through Friday, I give you an action step in a training for you to grow. And then tomorrow, big day, we have our Sales Leadership Secrets live event. If you want to learn more about that, you can go to higdongroup.com/sales. And so I appreciate you so very much. God bless you guys and your family, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.